Hello, welcome once again to my channel. So this time around, we're going to be talking about executing an inline Python code. So now we are not focusing mainly on the file now, but we are focusing on writing your code directly on the terminal. So that's what we are focusing on. So to do that, it's very simple. So I'm just gonna run a simple code, but before I do that, I would love to navigate to where I am working. I would love to navigate to where I'm working. So let's list what we have here. If you remember, in the next class we're using the desktop repo, so I'm going to navigate inside the desktop. So yours can be anything. So inside our desktop, if we check what we have ALX higher level programming. So I am going to cd inside there too, like that. Then I'm gonna list what we have there. So we have 0x0 python hello world, so I'm gonna navigate inside there too, and we are inside there. So we can now move on to the next stuff. So now if we list what we have here, you see we have our run and our pile with our previous tasks we have done. So this time around we're talking about executing code directly from our terminal. And how can we do that? It's very simple to go on that. First of all, we need to know which this thing we are working on, which is very important. So whether you're working on Python 3 or whichever Python you are working on. So for instance, an inline Python is not the one that is written on a file, is not stored anywhere, but based on the fact that we have variables, like we have said earlier, we can store them in a variable. But I might decide to write it directly on my command line and run it, and it works just like that. So for instance, uh, I want to open one, so I'm just gonna say I want to type one on my terminal, so I'm just gonna type Python like this. So if I type Python, you can see what we have here: Python 3.10.6, and whatever information we have there. Type help, type that. Now you see that our terminal have changed. You see we have three greater than symbol, which we have the three greater than symbol, so we can go ahead and start typing our. So I might decide to put the code directly, so I can just type print like this, print. Then I'm just gonna open a coily braces, and inside it I'm going to put whatever I want to be printed out on the console. So I can just say hello world, something like that, hello world, like this. So if I execute this, you see hello world is printed on a terminal. You can see hello world that is printed there. So I can decide to print other stuff, make it more complicated. So let me check what we have there on the tags. So I might decide to say best school, um, then 80 plus 10, something like that. So I decide to print something like that. So I'm just gonna type this best like this. Then I'm gonna type school. Then I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put this coily braces. I'll tell you why we are putting the coily braces. Then I'm gonna put plus. I'm gonna put 10, just like that. Now if I run this, it's gonna print a literal string as it is here. So the way I have put it, so this is what's gonna print: best school, this and that. open curly braces 80 plus 10, but there's something you're gonna add there, so it's not gonna be treating. When that is added, it will not treat these curly braces as an ordinary string, but it's going to calculate the output and going to give us the total answer. One thing we should know about Python, that Python has mathematical calculation inbuilt on its own, so you can just go and write 10 plus 6 and automatically Python calculates it for you. So I can just say 6 plus 5 like that, and Python is going to give me the answer. I can just say 6 times 5, it's going to give me the answer. I can say 2 raised to the power of 4, 2 raised to the power of 4, I think that should be 16. So to do 2 raised to the power of 4 equal to 2, then you do times raised to the power of 4 like that. That is 2 raised to the power of 4, and it's going to give you 16. You can see that. So it has an inbuilt calculator. So for us to put that, to make this not to be seen as a string but to be seen as a number, what are we going to do? So I'm just going to call that, then I'm going to move over to this place where we have the double quotes, then I'm going to add f there. So automatically Python is going to calculate it and give us the final answer, the final output. So if I hit enter, you can see instead of putting 88 plus 10, it's now giving me 98 as my total answer. So whatever that is in here inside the curly braces has been calculated, and the final output has been dropped on the this thing. So that's one important thing you need to take note of in this. So this is the basic concept of inline programming. Now whatever code I've written here is not stored anywhere, it's not stored inside the file, but it is written on an inline in our terminal directly, and we executed it there. So what if we want to do this inline and store it in a variable so that we can get back to that variable, we can execute that variable and do some stuff. Now let's see what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna clear what we have here. Now note that for this to work, to go away from this, you press Ctrl D, so it stops that Python whatever. So we are out of that. So Ctrl D is used to go away from the Python terminal. So now we can work with our normal terminal. So for instance, let me see whether I have that. Okay, good and fine. We have this, and we want to store this inside a variable. So we're gonna create a variable. So to create a variable and export stuff inside, so you'll say export PORT, then the name of where we want to store it. So I'm gonna call it pycode, which was the example or this thing given us on the tags there, pycode. Then inside it, I am going to put the code, but based on the file that this is not the file. If it's a file, I will just put the name of the file like main.py, bolu.py, me.py, u.py, but this is an inline code, so I'm going to use a single quote, then paste the block of code that I want to put in there, the block of code there, then I'm going to close it with this thing. So every block of code is inside a single quote. So my code starts from this point, and it ends here. You can see where it ends. So inside a single quote, whatever code I'm writing should be inside a single quote. That's what you should take note of. So everything is exported inside a pycode. So I'm just gonna hit enter. So literally we have whatever we are doing stored inside our variable we have just created, which is known as pycode. So we can just call it, like, you can just say Python Python, and you might try to do this to see if it works. So if I put something like this, pycode, actually I think there should be an error. Okay, so we can't open Python. So if we try to use 3 there, let's change this to P3. and try that. Still the same thing. So how can we go about that? Now remember that the environment where we executed our code, you saw something that looks like this, 3. So the same thing we're gonna be applying here. So I'm just gonna come here and write Python like that. Then I'm going to put, instead of using greater than, I'm going to use a less than symbol, like 3 of it. Then facing towards this direction, then I'm going to put the variable there, which is $sign, then the pi code like that. And you can see we have our output being printed on the screen. You can see that. So you can see this thing I put here, less than, less than, less than, up to 3 times. So you can see how it goes, using that to print out an inline block, which is very simple and easy. So I hope you guys understand this concept. Now this is the line of code that we can use to execute our inline block, our inline code, because it is stored inside a variable. So now what's the next thing we're going to be doing? We want to store this line of code inside a file, inside a shell file. So we're going to create a shell file. So I don't know, I can't remember the name of the file, so but let me check what's the name of the file. The name is one-run_inline. So we have one-run, oh, sorry for that, battery is low, underscore inline, like that. So you can see the name of the file. So I'm not just going to hit enter, so I'm just going to vim inside the file. So I'll just hit enter and we are inside. So I'll go inside the insert mode. Inside the insert mode, then I start with my this thing to show that is a bash file. So dash bin dash slash bash, like that. Then next line, I'm going to write that code that we have there, which was what, Python. You can just write Python, then use your less than symbol 3 times, then the name of the file, the variable I mean. So we put $sign, then we'll put pycode code, like that, and just escape. Then we'll write and quit. So so if we check that, you see we have this here. So the permission here, it is white, so we need to change permission. So I'm going to change mode so it will be green like this, 0 run. So I want to change my permission. So change mode, u, then plus x. I've changed the mode, and I'm going to put 1 there, dash, like that, and we have that. So if we clear the screen and check what we have there again, you see that we have one-run_inline, which we are looking for, and now we are good to go. So what are we going to do next? Now inside this, our variable is stored, so we can just go ahead and run that one, like that, dash run_inline. So if you hit enter, you can see we have best school 98 printed out on our terminal. So I stored our inline code inside a file. Actually we are not running a file, but we are running an inline code, because I show you the whole concept there. So please make sure you like and you subscribe to my channel, because that really helps, and also share it to friends and family and those that you think is very important to them to learn this. There's a stepping stone. Please don't just watch, always practice, because practice makes perfect. Thank you.